Welcome one, welcome all to the ever-buoyant grandstand here at William Rowland Stadium. We join you in Thousand Oaks, California, where persistent sun lights the way on match day 3 in MLS Next Pro. And the fixture list has provided something to sink the teeth into. A set of sides hot from the off in the fresh campaign, ready to rehash recent playoff past. Ventura County, St. Louis City 2 up and at one another here tonight. Howdy folks, I'm Peyton Gallagher. These are the lineups for the two sides. A pair of clubs that have yet to find defeat in 2026 and are scoring as freely as you like. And starting with Ventura County and Matt Taylor, it is a 4-4-1-1 that will function against the ball as something a little bit more closely resembling a 4-4-2, but the headlines are written by that strike tandem, Dylan Vanny, off and flying to start this year, scoring goals for fun, partnered in crime by Julian Placias, who had a brace in his last outing against Vancouver. They will support this group with the ball, dominating possession as Ventura County lead the league in that category, having surpassed over 600 passes in each of their first two matches. St. Louis City will not make things easy for them, though. David Critchley back in charge and helming this side that was the #1 seed in the West a year ago and knocked this very same Ventura County team out of the postseason in a completely different function and form in this 3-4-3. Super fluid, super fun, and they will dominate this game in explosive moments if they are to have their way. Palmer Alt has been a revelation, the rookie out of Indiana. A goal and 2 assists last game against Minnesota United, as he has made a massive impact at the tip of the spear. When these two have tussled, there has been plenty of sparks flying. All time, this will be the 8th meeting on this occasion today. Knotted up, 3 victories for each side of the line with a draw split in between them. Should be noted again, St. Louis was the side who dumped Ventura out of the postseason a year ago by a final scoreline of 3-0. Back in Missouri, Matt Taylor remarked, with a very young group that is looking to hone themselves at this level of competition, that when you play St. Louis City 2 in the build-up to this game, it is like playing a professional team. He was excited to test his side mettle against this opposition that will be so stiff here in this one. Always a bouncy environment at William Rowland Stadium. There is a potential heat advisory in effect. It's been a scorcher today. In the white, it's St. Louis City 2. In the navy and bursting gold, it is Ventura County FC. Center official is Kalalu Jarju. He will send us in motion. 2 undefeated sides that have found the back of the net so freely in the early going this year. In each other's face, in each other's way. Here in Thousand Oaks, California. St. Louis City 2, Ventura County FC. And once more, I'm Peyton Gallagher. Roadside St. Louis have been dazzling with the ball this year. Captivating style of play, very different than what they were a year ago. Almost completely remodeled and remade team. Think about some of the great Columbus Crew teams that we saw with Wilfred Nancy at the senior level in the MLS. That is the model that St. Louis are trying to play at senior level now. David Critchley has done an excellent job of adapting some of the primary principles that were effective for the St. Louis team last year before he took over as the caretaker manager at senior level. Almost transmodified them into a completely different style of play. Sebastian Colon taking the ball at feet to start the game for Ventura, coming off a spectacular performance against Austin FC 2. Helped his side to get the extra point in the penalty shootout. Late comeback, some heroics from Ventura in that one as they found themselves 2-0 down in the second half before an outburst beyond the 70th minute. Started by Vanny. 2 goals scored within 4 minutes of one another. Leveled the thing up, and Ventura held their nerve longer from the penalty spot. Once more, both these teams undefeated entering match week 3 in the league. Lobbed in towards Vanny. Man in the middle is waiting. It was Palacios unmarked, and deflection necessarily took it off course. Those two complement each other so well. Palacios, that bigger, burlier, stretching striker, opening up all the spaces for Dylan Vaney to press on the pressure points and have that degree of mischief in his game. There is a verticality in this Ventura model. They aren't afraid to go direct toward the top of the league in terms of long balls, which kind of bucks the trend of most teams that try and use possession in the way that Ventura have so far this year, at least to that degree of extremity, upwards of 60% per game. It's been a beautiful blend. See how much ground St. Louis are willing to cede as they are in the upper reaches of the ball-dominant areas of play as well. Funneled wide. Thomas Tutland down from the senior team. He makes the start today. We'll see how many minutes he gets. Circled in to Patrick McDonald. Advantage being played. Hooking down the far touchline now. Barclay's ball in is beaten back and out for what appears to be a corner. Angled in at the back post. It escapes Cologne, who was interfered with. First foul of the contest comes not 4 minutes in. You'll notice that St. Louis, their players sporting black armbands today. A sign of remembrance, the loss of Ilona Lewin, wife of Eduard Lewin, who was one of the inaugural group of players for St. Louis at senior level. His wife was diagnosed with cancer just about 2 years ago. Had a courageous battle, but lost that fight in the end. And as an organization, St. Louis doing what they can to pay remembrance to an important player in their club's history and a family that was from the inaugural go, a part of the heart of this club and city. Pretty remarkable. Eduard Lewin has not played for St. Louis for several years now at this organization because of his impact and because of his wife's impact. And the signature it left on the soul of St. Louis felt still compelled to pay some degree of respect. Falls for Cologne. Swept away at the back. St. Louis extending in the press. They were top of the league by a massive margin. A lot of the pressing metrics last year, the underlying and important numbers, specifically passes per defensive action, a measure used to quantify how aggressively a team is pressing, the amount of opponent passes allowed before the ball is engaged. St. Louis were just about north of 6 per last year in their pressing efforts, 6 opponent passes. Nobody else was below 8. The league average was upwards of 11. You look at the graph, just a teeny tiny St. Louis dot beyond the pack, and that pressing effort has remained persistent even with the change of shape and philosophy. Winning the ball high again. Zach Lillington and stirring back. Out wide, Alex Junt gets away from Patrick McDonald, who hustles to at least hound it backwards and prevent any quick counter from Ventura. All the way back into Cologne. Screaming forward in the press was Palmer Alt. And that effort has been rewarded by a winning of possession in the final third. McDonald punching through the gaps. It falls for Palmer Alt. Skipped away in defense. Last-ditch stuff from the Californians. Throwing to come. In fact, by the positioning of all parties, no, it will be a throw. And maybe a sign of what is to come specifically, because by the way, St. Louis are poising themselves almost as if it were a corner. That is to say, long throw imminent. Hoisted in. Not sure where the ball was intended, but it's backheeled on at the top of the box. Looks like that kind of got away from the thrower there. Taken down at feet by Colin Welsh. Patrick McDonald always at the heartbeat of what St. Louis are doing in attack and with the ball. David Critchley said he would feel comfortable with him playing 6, 8, or 10. Today in a lower lying position, and just such a useful figure in this team, and his ability to read space, understand tactics, not just at what to do, but why to do it. Very helpful in coordinating where his teammates are going to be, because he has that level of understanding. Story that popped up in conversation with Critchley about McDonald in the preceding run into this game. They were in their preseason playing a couple scrimmages against USL Championship opposition and trying to sharpen up for this year. They didn't immediately install their tactics and coordination on set pieces. In the first game that they did, Patrick McDonald's understanding from one session alone was so advanced that he was effectively able to choreograph his teammates who are a little bit younger than him in the game itself. It's maybe a little bit overused in the sport, especially for midfielders, but as McDonald grabs hold, he is the coach on the field. He is at the controls here. Widening play for Barclay. Barclay, a splash of skill. Having none of it in defense was Mason Vaney, twin brother of Dylan, breaking through this year. That's a well-spotted pass from Colin Welsh. Slashing ahead, St. Louis City 2. They are running the game, 10 minutes in. Forcellini. Third successive start for the winger turn wing back, and he's chopped down. This is a dangerous free kick on tap. Hatching their plan, and plenty of bodies in the box. Smoothly in at the near post, not fully flushed away until now it does get out of harm's reach. St. Louis have already come up close to 100 passes in the game. Oh, that's a clever run. Forcellini coming all the way from left to right. Those are the kind of movements that make St. Louis so difficult to deal with, but that time offside. A lot of rotational freedom in and amongst that front five, if you will. The 210s, the striker, and then the wingbacks. All considered, Ventura have acquitted themselves quite well in their defensive organization, though. Infield for Patrick McDonald, tearing at the seams again. Forcellini gets the defender to dive in. It's a heavy touch, though, at the foot of Palmer Hall. Cannoned away. Patrick McDonald touching every blade of grass at the opening go. Palmer Hall unable to make it stick. Involved again, though. Drawing ever closer. St. Louis City 2. Wagner on the wide side exploring his Totlands. Totland turning up the temperature and caught a flat-footed side of Riley Lynch in the pocket. Throwing to come for Ventura and a chance to collect their breath. Already seeing some red faces out of them. They've just been chasing and chasing and chasing, basically doing cardio for a quarter hour. That being said, Ventura, albeit a dangerous game, might be content to have the game going like this, in fact. Might be a bit of an illusion to try and get the decoy out there and have St. Louis settle into a false sense of security before they smack them in transition. Still yet to see St. Louis actually muster a real chance. McDonald looking to do something about that. It's a costly giveaway potentially. Forcellini again, licensed to roam. First-year player out of Xavier, 21 years old. Already a goal and an assist for him. He is an Olathe, Kansas native. Not playing too far from home. Alex Juntz. Jauntily down the line. Totlands. It's tight work. Riley Lynch launches in a cross that's too close to goal. Sebastian Colon happy to plunder the effort into his area. At this point, Ventura probably just needs to step on the ball, if not for a moment, to take some of the air out for St. Louis. Hammered forward by Riley Delgado. And roped down by the goalkeeper, Colin Welsh. I have to imagine he will be high off his line, sensing that field shrinking responsibility of any sweeper keeper. This is another tactic that could be used by Ventura to break up some of the rhythm and groove that we've seen from St. Louis. Just leave a couple, not malicious, but disorienting fouls, if you will. Don't make it so easy for them to have the freedom of movement that they've enjoyed so far. All the way back into Cologne. Returns to sender. Free space on the four-touch line. Barclay in contest. Swiveled from side to side and Delgado. Finally, Ventura County finding something of a beat. Right on cue, given away. Seba Hernandez. Pushed along, tidily so, running to the end line. Oh, it's a confiscating tackle from Patrick McDonald. I'll have that, thank you very much. And away it goes. McDonald an impact player, make no mistake, last year with Toronto FC2, but the game's gone up a level as contact absorbed in the box. Dylan Vaney went to ground and pursued all the way back by Jose Magana. The ball has stayed on, or has it? Going to come for St. Louis, despite some comeuppance from the home team. Upset potentially with some carryover heat from the penalty no call moments prior. Rushing to the end line, and it gets away from Forcellini. A chance to review the penalty no call, see how close this actually was. It was a searching ball over the top into the corner of the box. There is contact that prevents the player from playing the ball. Zach Lillington leaving one on Vaney. That being said, with no imminent threat to goal and without anything clear and obvious, almost happy they didn't call that. Once more called into action. Or St. Louis in their defensive duties. They do just enough for the time being. Delgado, softening first touch to keep it in circulation. Well done by Villamediana. Hooked away by Tutland. Altz taking it down the line and undercut. Not much question in that one. Whether that was actually Lynch who got the twist in and got taken off his fine footing. VCFC brought to you by McDonald's West Coast, owned by the largest Mexican-American owned franchise, the McMorrow Family Restaurants Group. With over 48 locations in Southern California, McDonald's West Coast is proud to be the jersey sponsor and partner of VCFC, bringing local communities together. Just in clarifying, that Ventura County tackle went without the punishment of a caution. Referee keeping things close to the vest early and letting them play, and with the quality on display, that's a welcomed fact. Swiftly hustled along in the direction of Lynch. Delgado, stride for stride. Another player that's come into his own for Ventura County and made a massive impact at fullback. Forcellini again, freelancing a little bit, coming over to this near touchline. With him playing 10 today and not wingback as we've seen in some of the early games, maybe a little bit more opportunity to go and try and find those industrious moments where the pockets present as he gets on the ball here. Swept wide, thoughts of a shot, driving into a wall. Barclay has lost the block. Ventura have effectively weathered that early storm, and 20 minutes in are growing into the game in a meaningful way. Still yet for either of these sides to conjure a single shot. That should say something about how entertaining the game has actually been, line to line. Worthy of the attention. Oh, that's cheeky. Whittling into free fields for Delgado. Villamediana and Delgado. in a two-man game. Magana and Delgado. St. Louis extending now. Not content to just sit and chase. Trying to do something about regaining the ball. Stands have filled in nicely. Not much shade to be had, but this is always an environment that offers so much to Ventura County. Just beyond 75 degrees Fahrenheit at kickoff, but no cloud cover in sight. Magana. Magana splits a line. Maybe a purple patch starting to blue to the side in navy blue. Pressing their opponent back more and more by the minute. Delgado rolled down the line. It gets away from the defender. The cross comes, waiting on it at the penalty spot. Wicked away. And the break bruise. At full gate, it's Lynch. Left it a little narrow in its hunt for the striker, Palmer Alts. And left enough of a chance for Jose Magana to make an impact. Alt adjusts his sock and St. Louis straight out into the forward facet of play. VCFC powered by Ventura County Credit Union. Ventura County's trusted member-owned financial partner, powering over 80,000 locals with smarter banking and community-first service since 1950. Bringing VCFC to all local communities. It's our official credit union partner and jersey sponsor. Line drawn in the sand. Cologne will eventually pick it up. Was encouraged to do so eventually by Alt. A commitment to the expansion of space at every inch possible. Fans making some noise for the first time since the kickoff. The backbeat as the tempo intensifies for Ventura. And they give it away. Barclay contested. It's been won by Vaney, but done so illegally. The foul comes in eventually. Salvador Reyes and Mark Novosel are the ones running the lines today as the ARs. Anthony Almeida is the fourth official. Hearing from them in about 20 minutes as McDonald is upended. Starting to pick and grin their way through the midfield. Or Ventura County. Yellow card. Didn't look too aggressive in the tackle, maybe something in the orbit of the incident itself. There was a little yank back, and there could be an argument made that that was the stopping of a promising attack. As Vaney looked like he might just cut the corner and be off to the races. Just in confirmation, it's Zach Lillington who goes into the book, the first name taken. Magana. There is that direct ball, and there's plenty of space. Placias running in on goal. A teasing tag from the edge of the area. Easy enough for Colin Welsh. That is the first shot on target of the match. And now they're getting in gear, searching for Totland, taken by Cologne. St. Louis City 2 came into today tied for second in the division in goals scored with 7, yet to concede 1. Notable, they also started last year with 4 consecutive clean sheets too. Look at Cologne. Another sloping effort, played into a bit of an awkward spot for the goalkeeper, who can't corral it ahead of his own area. Forced to play out for a throw in to come. Ushered wide by Delgado. Not seen much on the crossing front from either side so far. Sweet bit of counter movement to provide a questing run infield by Tucker Lepley. No end product would arrive. This portion of the match is brought to you by Ombi Mobile, featuring premium 5G unlimited talk and text and exclusive access to the Ombi Club. You can earn scholarship rewards, mortgage points, and merchandise, so much more as well. Learn more at ombimobile.com. Speaking of mobile, on the move, it's St. Louis City 2, encroaching on the final third. Half hour played and still looking for their first sniff of goal. No team has picked up more points the last 2 seasons in MLS Next Pro than St. Louis City 2. That group last year that returned so many of its familiar faces, went from the 2nd seed to the 1 seed before being dispatched in the playoff hunt. Colorado Rapids 2 would eventually be the emissary representing the West in the final against Red Bull 2. The team for David Critchley brought back 5 of its top 6 scorers. This team brings back nobody who scored a goal on a full-time basis. Of course, Makai Joyner did get 2 for them last year. Last game, I should say. He had 15 last year. But with the senior team now and only be moonlighting in the 2 setup, in by Tutlands. It's a clever bit of running by Barclay to cut across face. Nothing comes of it. Barclay squares up his marker, lurching in across, and it's just a faint effort at it from Forcellini. Now for a goal kick. Of course, Ventura will play short out of the goal kick. Outfield player will take it, playing it back to the goalkeeper. That ensures that Ventura do get the man advantage and build up instead of having to go long. Keeper just booting it away. Makes it a much harder outfit to press. There's your Soccer 101 lesson for the day. Crunching tackle. Vaney not shy about things, even if he is more specific in his offensive capacity. Really bright future for that player. Found the back of the net in each of the first 2 games. Really well-rounded game. Bit of a rarity to have that center forward archetype in the modern game. He fills the role so well. The wide space for Alex Junt. Hemmed in St. Louis City 2. Got to keep composure. Colin Welsh. Oh, that's lovely work. Forcellini finding his stride. Support all around him. Can St. Louis crack the code here? It's Barclay, breezing end line, and at least testing the gloves for the first time in this match of Sebastian Colon. Not a lot of teams can play through a press like that in MLS Next Pro and make it look so easy, not even beating any sweat off their brow in the process. St. Louis City. Bit of a nip and tuck foul from Porcellini. St. Louis CITY2 entering today as one of only 4 teams yet to concede a goal. A couple of those have fallen from the ranks already over the course of this Sunday in MLS Next Pro. One of them was New York City FC2, and that was basically a technicality. Their first week fixture having to be rescheduled due to inclement snowfall in the Big Apple. Others being Philadelphia and Houston. Philadelphia surrendered 2 to CT United, a big win on the road for the Connecticut side as they bounce back from a pelting against Chattanooga FC last weekend. Won that one 2-1 in a venue where not many teams find success. Late winner from their first ever signing, Barnabas Tani. Palmer Alt dropping that deep just to have a taste of the ball. He has been effectively shut off. That was only his 4th touch of this first half, Palmer Alt. That was a point of contention for Matt Taylor. They had backup plans if St. Louis really worked themselves into a lather early of how they would alter things defensively in terms of the strategy, but he did want to see if his team could go head up and be effective playing their principles in defense against St. Louis, and so far the answer is an emphatic yes. Lepley lurching into the box now. Well met by stiff defense and just saved shy of a corner and still committed to play out. Barclay stretching long legs and lunging down the touchline, skilling by 1. Porcellini went down, fell straight on the ball. Free kick given. This is Riley Lynch, served in field for Totland. Was a step shy of it. Sniffed out by the defender. It looked like Magana. Now to the other side we go. Both these teams rigorously committed to finding the way to go forward with every pass, and at least a conversation being had now about that foul committed. Sidney Paris will escape without a booking. 10 minutes left in the frame. Riley Delgado. Presenting the run down the line, and that's where it goes. Chopped in, Plasias, Vinny! Dylan Vinny pops up and pilfers. And Ventura out in front 1-0. St. Louis, defense broken for the first time this year, and it comes with a flashy strike. One of the league's very best in the box. Look at this combo play from Plasias. Eyes in the back of his head. Sends the run coming from Vaney. who did not hesitate to give that a right thump from the top of the box. First time finish, and it's all coming up aces for the home side. For the first time this year, St. Louis put on the canvas. Plenty of rounds left in this fight, but they know now that they are in a fight. Been pretty easy for them. 3-0, then 4-0. That will not be the case here today on the road. Up for grabs, advantage being played. The referee having nothing of it, just shrugged his shoulders. In a circle goes Pomeralt before deferring to McDonald. Jack Wagner. Now do Ventura try and press this advantage, or do they sit off and try and manage the rest of this half? A story that will be revealed over the next 7 minutes or so. They are pressing in force. Really condensing the space on this near touch line. Delgado is called. No, he was the one interfered with, so foul called against St. Louis. Pursuable in the corner, and it's well won. Scrambling to the end line. Served back in. Vaney again. This time the goalkeeper in the right place at the right time. It looked like that was about to be a tap in. It was Troy Elgersma who got the equalizer the last time out against Austin. Nearly set up Vaney for a brace in a matter of moments. It came quickly in the last match against the Texans. Austin FC2. Starting to make a habit of that kind of thing almost in the moment, Ventura. Creamed off the foot of Cologne. Elgersma nodding on and combining. Heavy touch, it escapes him. St. Louis all out of sorts. Seems as if they were reading each other's minds for the first 20 minutes or so, and then Ventura said enough of that. Good test of the metal for St. Louis City 2. Barclay. Whipped wide, Alex Junt. And all the way wide for Totlands. Snaking infield, McDonald. Muscling towards the attacking target. Sidney Paris finally dispossessed and maybe cut out St. Louis. One of their center backs exposed as he took it forward, and now Plasius is plotting. Vaney assessing the space in the middle. Still Plasius goes, and still Plasius goes. Takes it alone, denied by Colin Welsh. Saw Plasius just look up for a half second and see a streaking Vaney over his left shoulder before realizing there was not time enough to try and play the cutback. Again, St. Louis nearly ripped asunder. They leave it in the rearview mirror, though. Wagner. A little bit more pep in the step suddenly for St. Louis. I think they're starting to understand that their predicament is becoming a little bit more dire by the moment. Ventura have come close 3 or 4 times at this stage to widening the lead. Some urgency from the roadside. Barclay. Eye off the ball from Totland. With how quickly the half has passed by, I can't imagine stoppage time be a heavy-handed helping. Heavy touch there. Put the center back in a bit of a bind. Magana. Palacios is starting to cause some serious havoc, but handled in that moment. Well done by Zach Lillington, who was already on a booking from earlier in the frame. Almost bracketing Patrick McDonald. Been hard for him to find any oxygen. Not the case for Palacios or Vanny. Vanny with skill. Tried to no-look a pass and may pay the price. Forcellini. Options to his left and his right. Dispatching all the way wide. Back in for him. Forcellini. It's Alt, rather than Lynch. Barclay down the line for a circling Lynch. His cut back. Alt had a poke. Brought it back by Ventura. Sidney Perez into Lynch, who's pressed back, and whether it was a foul or an offside, bit moot. Custody of the ball is with Ventura County FC. Just waiting for the board to go up at this point, 30 seconds from that. Totland tempting the pressure. It's thumped straight out of play. David Critchley will implore his side to batten the hatches a little bit. The focus has certainly slipped. Two minutes of stoppage time. The whole game can change in 120 seconds, that's for certain. Bit of an awkward hop as looked like Lillington was intent to head it back to the goalkeeper and never got high enough. And on the second ball, only for a moment, are Ventura before it's recovered by Lillington. And bursting ahead are St. Louis. Off a skip, it was angling towards Cologne before Magana stepped in and surrendered what looks like a throw by the narrowest of margins. Not sure how much it matters. They're going to treat it like a corner. So this belongs to Zach Lillington. St. Louis need to be careful in their rest defensive duties to make sure they're organized with their center back up to take the throw. Stiffly headed away by Palacios. Second ball falling for Lillington. Hurls a ball into the box. It came off the head of Jerome Barclay. And just when it looked like there might be an instance of opportunity for Patrick McDonald, he was bustled away from any chance creation. Watch this little hip check coming in from Delgado, preventing McDonald from having any chance for a redirection. heady defending, and that might take us into the break. Ventura County up a goal and well good for it. Really beautiful action that saw Dylan Vanny break the ducts. And there it is. And so, we make our way to the curtain fall. 1-0 Ventura County. They are the first to solve the riddle of St. Louis City SC2 in 2026. The first goal conceded by the road-sided Missourians, and we find ourselves at the break with so much to be excited for in the next 45. Coming up at halftime, the rumors are true. Danny Rojas from the Ted Lasso show has been in camps. Plus, the pathway is not restricted to players, as some assistant and head coaches have made their way up to the coaching tree within MLS clubs. All that and more as we start halftime. Much more to come after a short break.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
Plenty to smile about for the home side. Our score here at halftime in Thousand Oaks is 1-0 to Ventura County FC. There have been a number of coaches who started with the youth to the Next Pro side and then found their way up as an assistant or even a head coach in MLS. Let's meet a player who had a decision to make after his career between the lines and decided to give it back as a coach as we head to North Texas and chat with Matt Hedges. More on that now.
Very excited to be here officially. I helped out a little bit last year. I really enjoyed my time working with the players, working with the staff. So I'm glad to be able to be on the staff full time and be involved. Towards the end of my career, I started thinking about what I wanted to do. Post playing, and coaching was something that for a while I didn't know if I wanted to do it. When my kids started to get a little bit older and I started doing it with them, I started enjoying it, and I thought I had a lot of knowledge that I could pass down to young players. That was kind of an easy decision after thinking about it. There's lots of different things that I can teach them from my career, but also the mentality, the intensity, the winning mentality is what I want to bring to the young guys, because they're going to need that. I played at a high level college, and I was still a little bit overwhelmed when I first got here, and it's the adaptation. If you don't do it quick at that time, then you were kind of out of the system. But now I think, especially with the academy and bringing those guys up and then moving into a environment like MLS Next Pro with North Texas, then I think it's a big jump in the quality of everything that is involved with this, and I think it's huge for developing players. I think there used to be a lot of guys who kind of got pushed out of the system if it wasn't working right away, but now those guys maybe get a second chance and can develop into good players. Yeah, it feels good. It feels like home. Like you said, I've been here for a long time. I know a lot of people here. I knew John beforehand. I knew a lot of the other staff beforehand, and even some of the players I still know. So it's just nice to be back in a familiar environment and be able to give these players my knowledge. This year, I think my goal is to improve our defensive solidarity. Obviously, I want to try to improve individually the players in the defensive line, help them improve their tendencies. But, you know, as a unit, I want our group to be solid and to give up less goals. That's always the goal. And for me, that was like my big thing as a player throughout my career. I always wanted to give up less goals, and I think that's something I want to pass on to these defensive players.
Serious business there from Matt Hedges, but for now, we can assure you that it's not an act, even though we are not too far from Hollywood here today. One of your favorite Ted Lasso actors did make an appearance. They camp and can, in fact, play the sport. We tracked him down to talk about his experience with the Chicago Fire.
Hola, hola, this is Cristo Fernandez, and we're here at the new facilities in Chicago Fire. Very happy and grateful to be here. I know I've been doing more acting and filmmaking these last couple of years. I would have never imagined how life was gonna turn for me. Never imagined that with my new dreams of film and acting, football, soccer was gonna be the thing that was gonna open them for me. I say this because I've always missed football, soccer. That's my first love. The level is very intense, young upcoming players, so lots of potential in this club. I can say that this is world-class level. I played professionally back home in Guadalajara. We didn't have this level of world-class facilities. I think the club is doing something great for both the city, the team, the players. It's a dream come true for anyone to be here. So for me, it's also a dream come true to be here now, and I am grateful for the opportunity. What has surprised me is the level of the team. I've seen both the first team, the second team, the players, they're doing something great. And what surprised me as well is the quality of the people, very nice people. And that also says a lot about the club, and I think that's very important. It's been really nice getting back to the field, training, and really giving my best and believing I still can play this professionally, and we'll see where the dream takes us. But it's been really nice.
They say football is life. That is the case right now in Connecticut. And as halftime continues, let's reintroduce you to the newest club riding the headlines in the Northeast. Visit with CITY United.
This is Connecticut's newest club, built for the entire state, not just one city.
Connecticut's a pretty culturally diverse state. Doesn't really have one major city. There's a bunch of small cities that are pretty close to each other.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the stage the founding partner of Connecticut Sports Group, Mr. Andre Swanston.
I remember feeling like, okay, it's on now, because talk is cheap. A lot of people say, oh, you know, I'm gonna own the team, and da-da-da. You hear that all day, every day, everywhere. And so it kind of, you know, it was late 2023 when kind of everything went through. We knew it was approved and it was gonna happen. And it was just kind of, Michelle and I were like, all right, okay, it's on now, like, let's go.
I want to thank all of you who have made today possible and who worked tirelessly behind the scenes to bring these ideas to life, including the entire team from the Connecticut Sports Group.
Before the first professional match, the foundation was already in motion. In 2024, CITY United launched its professional academy.
We started our academy first because we wanted to, one, make CITY United tangible to the community, and so they could see it, touch it, feel it, that we're here.
One of my first conversations with Andre and Michelle, when I met with them and we really started discussing, you know, their vision and what they wanted for their football team in the state of Connecticut, the ambitions, they're breaking down the barriers for giving kids opportunities to play in the academy. Once you have that idea, then I think it becomes pretty clear in terms of now bringing in the right people in your staff and to start to identify the right type of players you want to come in.
It starts in MLS Next, and it continues in MLS Next Pro.
I think we're headed in the right direction. You know, we have a good group of guys. Coaching staff is alive and ready. And I think we're just pushing towards, you know, the start of the season and looking to have a good season.
We knew that we wanted a team that was entertaining. We wanted a team that was going to dominate with the ball and against the ball. A team that looked to play forward. A team that is aggressive.
They're entertaining players, man. I mean, I'm really excited being in the league for 4 years and seeing the group that we're gathering together makes me happy.
What the ownership and the sporting director laid out to me, we had a couple of calls before I decided to join the team. It was very ambitious. I like what they have planned for the team, and I like the future, and I want to be part of this project. We have a lot of young players, so I know we're going to be very energetic. We're all here to learn, to get better, and you know, when you're young, your brain is like a sponge.
So, here's the standard.
Connecticut is used to winning. We've got to show them like we're playing for real, like we're not messing around. And then also I think with being the only black owner in the league, like I'm not losing, right? Like I refuse to make it seem like I can't build something that can compete on the level.
Big things happening around the division, and to that point, some of the scores rolling in from over the course of the weekends and elsewise. Big games to be played in the future too. And here's how things are shaking down in and around the division. Notably, Ventura County were able to get the single point against Austin FC. Elsewhere in the league, it was Real Monarchs with a loud result against SKC2, who coming off a really rough season last year, off to a rough start again. Orlando with a pair of victories, first beating Chicago Fire 2, then Carolina Core over the course of the 7 days preceding this. As for what is upcoming around the division, plenty to sink the teeth into. St. Louis City 2 in action against LAFC 2 on Sunday next weekend. The Western Conference keeps on rolling. Colorado Rapids 2. You're with us, you're under the sun. You're watching that game, the high vis ball is out. They're in the middle of a winter vortex playing in the snow as we speak. They will take on Earthquakes 2 at 8 p.m. on Saturday. In our game, there has been action aplenty. Highlights from the first half, a half that was won decisively by Ventura County FC. Amidst mounting pressure, this was maybe a bit of a sign of things to come. Dodging there was St. Louis City 2 on a nearly penalty, but again, similar ball sprayed in behind into space, opened things up. That time, it was just a shot across the bow from Plasius, but once more is foreshadowing. Exploring down the right side, Plasius gets the back heel in, and this is just such a confirmed and cool strike from Dylan Vaney, who rifles home on his first touch. Pelts one in below the reach in guard of Colin Welsh, and another chance coming for Ventura. In what was a montage of that, Vaney will be thinking to himself, I should have had a brace in the first half, but he's been scoring for fun to start the year. He had another look in this moment. Ball never actually came to him as Plasius left everybody in his dust, aside from the keeper, Colin Welsh, who would come up, clear the line. One last look at goal before the end of the half. St. Louis on the prowl here. And the ball would be served in from deep. Just missing out on the back post runner. That would be Patrick McDonald. So there's your recap, an appetizer for what is to come in the next 45. That's coming up when we return. 1-0 is our score. Ventura County out in front of St. Louis City 2.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro.
Can't rush in like a roulette. You can't name a better duet. Don't ask questions, trying to figure out what's down. Don't worry about what next. Just wanna know what's next. Man, I say it so loud. Don't worry about what next. Just know we got now. Oh yes, man, I say it oh so proud. Don't worry about what next. Just know we got now.
Entering into the second half, where the road-sided St. Louis City 2 find themselves in a bit of a quandary as we enter the second frame. Down a goal, having conceded for the first time all year against Ventura County FC2. Folks, once more, I am Peyton Gallagher. This is MLS Next Pro Match Day 3, and it has been a bright and buoyant tie between these two teams so far. The defense of St. Louis City 2 being put through its paces, and we will see if the two sides remain unaltered entering into the second frame. It was Ventura County soaking up most of the pressure in the first 20 minutes, but that totally changed. Dylan Vaney started probing into some of the pockets, finding those direct outlets of play. Ventura relying on the transitional game to allow them to start to express themselves a little bit more with the ball. Sun is starting to set. We will see how the stamina is affected. It is a hot one. For much of that half, St. Louis City 2 were chasing. Resolve under examination for a side that, quite frankly, through its first 180 minutes this year, weren't tested very much. Not much wind to speak of, not a cloud in the sky, and to that point, if we were worried about maybe some of the fitness and players coming into a new season in harsh conditions beneath a beating sun, no substitutions. Here at William Rollins Stadium. False start from the opening bell. And there we go. The work belongs to St. Louis City 2, who have to cover the deficit and do it on the road. Some thoughts of a handball, but it's not called. Wobbling forward. And with possession now, Vicente Garcia was the one that latched on and kept it for Ventura County. And soared out of play, out of the back. The far touchline. Palacios hounding as St. Louis City 2 maneuver through the pressure and play in over the top. Looks like a trench might be forming at the base of that back line. A fissure between the center back and fullback. Goalkeeper filled that gap. Shove in the back there. Dimitriana absorbing the contacts. Lepley. Leashing touch at the touch line. Vaney presenting upfield. And crowded off the ball by St. Louis. Turning the legs. Down the far flank, it's Lynch in the middle. It's Olds! Slid away! That is spectacular defending. As soon as Sebastian Hernandez decided to leave his feet, he needed to be inch perfect. He was certain he would be. He comes through with a brave bit at the back. Signs of life, though, immediately from St. Louis, who looked fangless throughout the final 20 minutes of the first period. Lepley glanced away and falling in the custody of Jerome Barclay. Look back at precisely how close St. Louis City came in that moment. Alt did so well setting the defender up to that far post run and then cutting back in off to the weak shoulder. Looked like he was going to arrive and slot it home first time. Not having any of it was Seba Hernandez, not to be played the fool. Slanted bit of distribution that careens over the head of Barclay. Pouring tackle put in by Sidney Paris. It looked like he was dragged down by the attacking player, in fact, and referee was wise to it. A tight spot in the middle of the park, but worked out well. Final pass was something that left quite a bit to be desired, quite frankly. Forcellini probably thought the run of Copeland was coming a little bit wider. Shuttling by the first marker and into the box it goes for Lynch. The cutback, it's there, Barclay belts it home and makes it 1-1. Jamon Barclay grabs the game back with two hands and rips it back to level ground. A stealthy run into the area by Lynch. And stylishly finished by the second man runner of Barclay. It was never going to be that easy for Ventura. And they are pegged back straight away, not 5 minutes into the half. Jamon Barclay made that finish look a lot easier than in reality it actually was, skying for it and hitting it first time. Only been the case for both goals today. New game. And it may be newer still. Palacios plotting, pulsing in a back post ball, and Totlin takes it off course. It was nearly an instant response from Ventura. Longer shadows still starting to cast as the sun sets. Dylan Vaney prepares. Ball in swinger. A glimmer of a chance opened up there. Arnell Diomijana popping up and applying a glancing header. And again, the short play out of the back. No chuggy, antiquated tactics to be found here. None of that Route 1 stuff. Just the cutting edge modern game. We've seen it on full display from both teams. Barclay already on the one goal. He may get another chance immediately. It's Alts deferring, and it's kept by McDonald. Barclay. And Alt again. Breezing to the end line and winning a corner. Corner coming. Two hands up, ball thrust in. Well claimed by Cologne. Roll down to Delgado. And he was coordinating from his own half for a moment. Ventura will evaluate other avenues in the midfield. Slipped wide. This is Mason Vaney. Flip of the hips from Lepley. And it takes a hop on its path into Dylan Vaney in the corner. Served in from deep. Good ball. Goalkeeper read it the whole way. Bit of a biteless header coming off Gersma. Fighting the sun to see the ball. Pressing heavily right now, Ventura County. Garcia had a strong opinion that there was minimal contact there. The referee not in congruence with that thought. Well, that's sleek. Barclay. I think a shin pad went flying there, if you are willing to call it that. Nonetheless, Barclay soldiering on in a central space. It's a foul against Barclay, who lost his footing. Tucker Lepley. Pinching it back is Placias. He's been magnificent so far. Swung well too wide though of Delgado. Ticking up on the hour mark. High overhead for Totland. Both teams remaining unchanged as we come up on an hour played. Plenty of variety on the bench for both squads. Comes into just a sliver of space in St. Louis. Start to stir into the final third. Snuck infield for Alt. Diving intervention. Alt just can't buy a break right now. Garcia, stride for stride like a shadow, and still with the ball. All that hard work. Ventura catapult into the attacking half. Now it's dispossessed from them. Calling for it for Cellini. Patrick McDonald picking up the baton again. For Cellini, Jamon Barclay. Hooks in across. Circling to pick it back up is Totland. Not done yet, St. Louis. Great game. Really has been as good as advertised. St. Louis striking up the band. Hoping for sparks to fly in by Totland. Turned back. Thumped as far as Ventura can take it. Palacios winning the war of wills, jousted back for Vaney. Runners to either side, picks out Palacios. Vaney relocating. Took Palacios a little bit too much time to catch up to it. And away to the other end. Alts hotly after it. Magana does enough. Ventura. Riley Delgado. Tucker Lepley with growing influence at the base of midfield. A lot of players starting to stand more still. Not as much movement off the ball as we saw in the early going. The tempo of the Tide taking its toll. Ventura. Knocked down. This is Vicente Garcia. Spreading all the way wide. Vaney off the back heel and chorus. And not at the same tune as Tucker Lepley. Vaney unable to drag the attacking player back. Well, he was successful, he just didn't stop him. When the ball finally did come off the foot of Sidney Paris, the foul was always coming. It will be a yellow card. So here's the foul. Drag back, stops any chance of a counter. It was actually pretty smooth work from Sidney Paris, and it looked like, as the dust settled after that play, a substitution was just made. Evan Carlock summoned and sent in. Day done for Thomas Totland on the right. Pressing forward and flying in formation. It's Palacios, goalkeeper called upon. He's out. The net is empty. Palacios! 2-1. Julian Palacios scores for Ventura County, and the lead is restored at home. Oh, I beg your pardon. It's a late arriving run from Arnau Ventura, who got the better of the goalkeeper and hammered home. A massive contribution as Vaney creates the opportunity. And it's right back to the right foot for Ventura County. First professional goal for Arnau Ventura. He scored 8 of them last year at Pittsburgh, playing collegiately. Vaney playing provider again, and St. Louis put exactly where they were in the dressing room. The guy who got the goal nearly lost it, regained by Garcia. Hopes of compounding. Lepley, the cutback. Stuck away and smuggled out. For Cellini. Nowhere to go but forward. And he's still going. And he's still going. And finally taken off the ball after what felt like 30 seconds. Shuffling in on the left foot. Good try. Knocked down. And knocked in. The linesman refuses to engage. And Palmer Alt, the easiest goal he'll ever score. He remained primed and ready. And it had been a frustrating day for him. With the deficit erased instantly And it's just a cunning bit of movement to get free of his marker and be there on the scene to pick up the rebound. A mistake by Sebastian Colon, who seemed like he didn't quite see the shot until it was right on top of him, the sun shining directly in his face there. And if it's misfortune, so be the case. But Ventura pegged back once more. 3 goals already scored in the half. It's another game with a goal for Palmer Hall. That is already for him 5 goal contributions in his first 3 games. And they are still hungry. Alt's arriving. Forcellini wide of him. Palmer. Alt! Off the post! Tracked down by Forcellini. Not giving up the fight, St. Louis. Barclay trying to sneak in behind. And wise to it, Ward Ventura. Tucker Lepley. Spinning the wheels now is Dylan Vaney. Garcia. He got crushed. And that will be a yellow card. Sidney Paris, the one who will be charged. Those two have been at each other's throats all half and just leaving one on. Garcia. There's Paris. So he will have to be mindful, as will Colin Welsh ahead of this set piece. See where Garcia chooses to place this. What is helpful is with those starting to fade football lines, we can tell you that almost precisely this strike will be coming from a little more than 20 yards out. Probably just narrowly within the range for Garcia, but he chooses distribution. Sculpted ball. On it off its trajectory and regathered via Mijana. All the way back to Cologne, who again will have to fight the sun to see anything downfield. Hard scrapple tackling. And Barclay is called for a foul. Good sportsmanship to help Garcia back to his feet. Free kick again. Vaney already on a goal and an assist. Big time player. Has made all the big plays this year for Ventura. I have to imagine he might be so daring to try it again. Eyes the bullseye and skips one in. Swept up by Patrick McDonald, who almost anticipated exactly where the ball would be and just walled it off. Oh, tidy turn. Now for a throw. VCFC, powered by Ventura County Credit Union, Ventura County's trusted member-owned financial partner, empowering over 80,000 locals. Smarter banking and community-first service since 1950, bringing VCFC to all local communities as their official credit union partner and jersey sponsor. Sprinting by all comers and cutting infield. He might go for this. For Cellini! It was fumbled for a moment by Cologne. Nearly put it in harm's way again. Just invited to continue to encroach upon the area. Had a pop. Garcia creeping in. Oh, that's slick. Sleek, I should say, for Cellini. Running at the top of the area. Juking into shooting shape. It was Lynch. And it was locked down by Ventura. Jamon Barclay. Onto its Paris. Oh, a false touch from Paris. Sees it go awry. Fiumicana happy to pounce and breaking straight through. Palacios pushing the issue. Happy to take the man one-on-one. Not happy anymore. Splendid tackle. Falco. Pair of changes being prepped by Matt Taylor. Entering into the final 20 minutes. At a cursory glance, it looks like Gabriel Arnold and Eric Preston. Final checklist being read out to them. See who they replace if they do, in fact, get a chance to enter the contest. At the touchline, Barclay infiltrating into the area, bobbled away. It will be a goal kick. Looked like a corner for a moment. It does look that this will be the chance for the change. So, Arnold entering. It's Tucker Lepley, who has met the end of the line in midfield. With Eric Preston stepping onto the right wing, a dynamic and fire-eyed forward. It's Vicente Garcia, who had been so often engaged with Sidney Paris, that is returned to the garage. Goals in this half from Pomerol and Jamon Barclay. Put St. Louis on level footing, not once but twice. It was 1-0 at the break by way of Dylan Vaney. Goal later on assisted by Vaney and finished by Fiumicana. Had it 2-1. St. Louis instantly got in gear and got it back, and that's how we find ourselves squared up at 2. Dicing with danger a little bit here. Fresh legs in the press. Eric Preston. Pomerol stuffs things out. Gets stricken down, and a yellow card given to Mason Vaney. Not much cause for curiosity as to why the call was given the way it was. Triangulating right now, St. Louis City 2. Press triggering upon the backward pass. They're swarming like a hive of angry bees. Here Matt Taylor barking out his orders, positioning his side to prove a point. Could be 3 points potentially if they get another goal. The one arrives in the custody of Ventura.
BCFC wants to wish a happy birthday to Mike Lebleski.
Chaseable ball all the way back. Magana skidding away and coming to Gabriel Arnold. Via Mitjana. Poking fun at the St. Louis block with these short and snappy passes. Seba Hernandez. Potentially bad ball, caught up to by Delgado. Never had his balance, it's given away. Sweet touch. Potentially unlocking stuff from St. Louis City 2. Flushed in over the top. It springs all the way wide for Lynch. Calvary coming. Thoughts of a cross, snapping at it, stinging a ball in. Held home! It's Palmer Alt, more than happy to plunder on the doorstep. A brace in the second half, and the entire game turned on its head. This is high level, graduate level striker play. Slowing his run, making sure he's in the defender's blind spot. And all he has to do at that point is stick a leg out, help it home. It takes the very best kind of 9 to have so little influence on the game, hardly touch the ball, and make the touches count in the area. Efficiency of play, and it's 3-2 just like that to St. Louis. Missouri is the show me state. They have shown something tonight. Lorenzo Cornelius injected into the game by David Critchley. Jamone Barclay comes off. Fresh legs on the flank. Speaking of which, Mason Vaney. Cued in. Great looking goal. It's hit the wrong side of the post. In fact, it's hit the wrong post entirely. Not an inch between these two teams. It opened up that quick. It was Mason Vaney on his bike. It was a useful ball as well as it got away from Placias. Snatching hit. VCFC brought to you by McDonald's West Coast, owned by the largest Mexican-American-owned franchisee, the McMorrow Family Restaurants Group. With over 48 locations in Southern California, McDonald's West Coast is a proud Jersey sponsor and partner, bringing local communities together. Another scouting ball ahead. This gets free towards Preston, who applied a touch to it, but nothing more, and just shoves the defender in the back. He's got his arms up, but that was somewhat careless. Had the defender at his mercy.
He's exhausted, Eric. You're fit. Come on, move his feet. Move hey, 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 come on, come on. Second ball.
Taylor mentioned, as we said previous, that when you play St. Louis, it's like you're playing a pro side. That has been on evidence so far. And a chance to acquit themselves, Ventura County, in those conditions. Can they grab it back after losing their focus and losing the lead? The team that put them out of the postseason a year ago. Placias on approach. Colin Welsh steps to the moment and stings it away. It's hit the referee. His choice as to whether or not he's going to stop playing. He doesn't. It's a throw-in. Via Michana. Slung skyward, too tall. Patrick McDonald. Swiped out of touch for a throw. Ventura County cruising forward. Vaney. Sebas Hernandez. Moved along by Magana. That was a good run by Vaney. And he is fortunate to find the ball. At the back post for Preston. Eludes him. Vaney toward the back post, and reading it in its full flight was Colin Welsh. This portion of the match is brought to you by Ombi Mobile, featuring premium 5G unlimited talk and text and exclusive access. The Ombi Club, where you can earn scholarship rewards, mortgage points, merchandise, and more. Learn more at ombimobile.com. Looks like St. Louis City are readying one final substitution. Saw somebody slinking over towards the fourth official in a white shirt. More and more things opening up out wide. Brought down. Gruzma, the one, caught with a leg out. Just enough to take the defender off balance as he chased after the ball. Looked like Jack Wagner. Referee doing his best to simmer tensions a little bit. Extracting every possible second is Colin Welsh. Floating blindly into the middle of the park off the foot of McDonald, who once more enters it towards the area. He's got it back again. Forcellini. Missed out on a substitution in some of the havoc as Enrique Martinez has come in for Ventura. Running hard as Preston. Zigging and zagging and taken all the way to the end line. There's a defender down right now. And the referee will pause things. Alex Junt, the one who's begging for somebody to come and stretch him out. Table set for a set piece as Junt is still really ailing. St. Louis will make a final raft of changes to try and steal things and get this over the line. Those won't happen just yet, but it looks like everybody is getting the final marching orders. Will they make the changes now? The referee is in communication with the fourth official. As mentioned, it is set to be a triple change. It's Stone Marion, Uota coming in to provide some fresh cover. As this was thrown into the area, it looked like they were going for goal. Vaney gave that a real rip. Once more, a flanking maneuver provided by Vaney. Hoisted over everybody. Vateye Gabadehan is the final of those three earlier changes. Forgot to mention that. Circling the wagons now. St. Louis City 2. Swirling forward, but only for a mere moment. St. Louis City. Gabadehan puts in a tackle. And potentially piercing on the run is Evan Carlock, who's offside. And this is a St. Louis City 2 debut for Abateye Gabadehan. Prior professional appearance, I should say, with Cardiff City in the EFL Cup against Southampton. That's all the action he's seen. Big body in midfield, hard to miss. A skip off the head. Plasias. It was deadened by a deflection, it seemed like, and it will be easy meat for Colin Welsh. It struck Carlock straight in the face there. Ventura need to hatch a plan. They need inspiration. So often it falls upon one single player to take it upon themselves and make it happen. Is that man on the field? A question that will be answered one way or another in the next 2 minutes, plus stoppage time. Viamitjana, a whirling dervish, just about works it out. Throws himself heartily into a tackle that will be clearly given as a foul. I'm not quite sure what the chorus of boos are about there, other than acceptance of the reality that opportunities are becoming few and far between with so little time left. Palmer Alt, second half brace. St. Louis from behind, now ahead, 3-2, approaching the 90th minute. Firmly headed down. Eric Preston can't push it away. Kept in tow by Vaney.
There we go, behind the ball. Yes, you. Yes, you. Hold on.
With all the goals in this half, it was 1-0 at the break, mind you. Wouldn't be beyond the imagination to see a sizable amount of stoppage time to work with for Ventura County if they arm out the late show. They might not need it. On attack now, looking at goal and stopped well by Colin Welsh. That was a skipping stone that was coming right to him. Troy Elgersma twisted himself free, got a clean look at target, and hit it straight at the keeper. It was a narrow ankle. You saw his groan of dismay. He thought he was going to do better in that moment. Rumble through the midfield and rock towards you, Ota.
Oh, you're not even fucking watching the game.
6 minutes left. Ventura mandated to mount the comeback. A leggy run down the line. Eric Preston blocked on the way through. It is a corner kick. Not quite time to call the keeper up. Not far off it though. Play quick. Top of the area. Sliding out of the tackle and in by Vaney. Not enough to keep it on. St. Louis have found a way to score 3 or more goals in all of their first 3 games. Will that be enough? Gabriel Arnold and wide for Vaney. It looked like it might stay on for a second, but it wobbles out of play ahead of Elgersma. Third of the way through the stoppage time. Everybody forward to apply pressure. Was always looking to go down, but referee left with little choice. Shoving the back, and you Ota wisely making the most of it. Hit as far as it could be hit. By Sidney Paris. Well, this is nervous now. Down by Ota, but only for a moment. Swaggered back by Ota again, who approaches the corner. And just about gets there. Finally dispossessed. Crushed by an off-ball challenge. And that's going to be a free kick, if not something more. Don't know if it was intentional, but Ota got cleaned out by Viamit Jana. That didn't look good. I'll say that much. Gotta imagine that this is just going to be pushed straight into the corner. And what's worse is Ventura have to sit 10 yards away while it happens till the ball is kicked. It hits the flag straight away, and it will be a goal kick. Played instantly. Don't look now, St. Louis a little bit disorganized. Their defensive posture, now they get back behind the ball. Gotta go now, 2 minutes left. Vaney from deep. Popped away, and it's just not happening right now for Ventura. Had that really good period for 20 minutes. The end of the first half. Got hit back, then answered. St. Louis delivering what is currently looking like a convincing and winning argument beyond that point, though. First it was Jamon Barclay, then twice it was Palmer Alt for his second and third goal as a professional. Already 6 goal contributions for him through 3 games, and off on a riot he is. One last go of it for Ventura County. Is there something left to say? The side that knocked them out of the postseason a year prior, St. Louis City 2, about to come into their house and beat them again. Vaney golfing in. Grabbing hold is Eric Preston. Floats in across. The second one is attached to by Arnold. Vaney, not enough time to squeeze in another crossing ball. Arnold for Vaney, lost his footing. Brutal. And a drag back and a foul is called. That seemed like it might be the moment. He's hardly put a foot wrong. A goal and an assist today for Dylan Vaney. He literally puts a foot wrong there. Just losing traction as the ball arrived in his custody. Referee will look down at the timepiece. He's put the whistle to his mouth, and he has shrilled to deliver St. Louis City 2 to all 3 points on the road. A comeback effort of mighty proportion, spurred upon by Palmer Alt, our Adidas man of the match without question. What a performance, as he so often was excluded from the game, did not have much to do, kept putting himself in position. That one was a gilded chance. This one was well earned, positioning himself freely to tap it home. Sophisticated striker play. Professional. And puts on the board for 3 more points. 3 goals from St. Louis, that's enough to carry them past Ventura County in this one. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, folks, again, I've been Peyton Galler. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLSNextPro.com and OneFootball. For now, we'll talk to you soon, folks. Good night.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.